you want to have. Below that, there is just what I call the fall term letter to instructors. This is if for some reason you are having a challenge with having a class conflict when there's a required STEM Institute event. There's a letter that I put together that just explains for the instructor what the STEM Institute is, why something is required, when those things would be, and gives them my contact information. If that's helpful to you, if you need to give that to one of your instructors, you can print out a copy of that and try to make that easy by having it right at your fingertips. But really good communication with your instructors about why you might need to miss a class because you have to be at the required fall seminar for the STEM Institute is an important thing to do, and that's to help you with that communication. You can always contact me directly if you need additional work with that. Other things that we have here, there's a quick guide to dressing professionally. There's all kinds of different terminology, and we know that last year we would have some students asking us, now, what's the difference between business casual and business formal? And so there's a very quick guide. If you click on that, it'll show you little pictures and give you a list of men, women, this is what it means. So if somebody uses that kind of terminology, you can go in and see what that means. And we'll sometimes use that. We'll say this particular event, the dress is going to be business casual. Okay? So you can look there and go, what did she mean by that when she sent it in the email? You can click right there and find out. There's also a little bit of information here to help you with, first of all, understanding the difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae. Those are two different versions of summarizing your professional accomplishments that are used in different areas of STEM fields, and we wanted you to see a little bit about those. And there's also something you can click on that will help you if you do not have a good resume or CV prepared at this point. That would be a good time to work on that, and there's some guidance to help you with that. We also have some information about use of social media and how to think about that from a very professional point of view rather than necessarily just as a way that you're communicating with your friends. So again, a link that you could go to and think more about that. And then the last part of this page is really a guide to some of the things that you might want to engage in beyond the classroom. So thinking about attending professional seminars, lectures, things that will allow you to learn a lot more about what does it mean to be a professional in the STEM area that you are interested in and what kinds of things you might want to try. You might want to even think about joining some of the professional organizations in the area. And so at the very bottom, we've given you some links to a few of the professional organizations. This list may get longer as we start to add some. And if any of you have a suggestion of a professional organization that you found particularly beneficial, I would love for you to email that to me, and I can add it to that list because it could be something that could be useful for your peers as well. So that part of the page is just meant to give you a lot of information that could just help you begin to put yourself forward in a very professional way. Last part of this webpage that I want to show you is the internship resources. This page again begins with some explanations. And so it has some explanations of what is shadowing, cooperative learning, volunteering, employment, internships, research. Goodness, you have all kinds of things you're supposed to be doing here. So this is to try to help you understand the differences between those so that you can determine if any of these experiences are appropriate for you. And then what we've done is added here some things to really get you started if you want to get involved in some of these things either next summer or even during this academic year. So there's some general information about how to apply, how to write some of those essays that are going to help you to be successful in your application. There are some resources that give you general lists. Okay, here's a list of all kinds of research experiences through the National Science Foundation. And so you can look through some of those and see if there's a good match that would go for you. And then we've also started to add here a list of some specific internships and research experiences that we're coming across. And again, we may keep adding things to this list. We've just worked this summer and making sure that we have it all set up for you and getting started. But what we are hoping is that you all will use this STEM Institute webpage through the foundation as a major resource to help you as you're looking for information. And it's something that you can use in conjunction with the work that you're doing with your faculty mentor as you're trying to decide what things are right for you as an individual. And this is to help you find your pathway a little bit as an individual. The first part is that to be a part of the STEM Institute, you do have to keep your GPA at 3.0 or higher. Given the average that we had for this group, I don't think that's going to be too much problem for you all, but just to remind you that that is a requirement. So work hard this semester, make sure you earn good grades, because we want to be able to keep you in the spring term as well, which we can't do if your GPA drops too low. If you are a full-time student, one of the students that got the letter that said you've been accepted as a full-time scholar, then you do have to be completing 12 credit hours or more. If you're a student who got the letter that said you were accepted as a part-time student, which is only 7 of our STEM scholars, then you have to complete 6 credit hours or more during each term. To remain a part of the STEM Institute, you do need to be pursuing a transfer preparation educational program. So many of you are pursuing an Associate of Science degree as you prepare to transfer. Some have some other versions of that as well. But you are heading toward some kind of a STEM field. And our emphasis is really on the non-clinical fields. So it's not so much on someone who wants to become a nurse as someone who wants to become, say, a researcher and discover a new drug or something like that. Okay? So that's the direction that we go with the STEM Institute. You do have to attend the orientation, and here you are. Here's everybody, okay? So you're doing the first thing. Check that one off. Okay? We have one other required event for the fall, and that's going to be the fall seminar that is October the 23rd. So that will be another evening event at 6:30 in the evening, and we'll go through those events again in just a minute to make sure you have them in your calendar. You do have to actively participate in the STEM Institute Mentor Program. So tonight is not the last time you're going to see the STEM fellow you're going to work with. They will see you often and you will get to know them. Okay? So it is important to make sure that you are engaging with your STEM fellow. That's a requirement of this program, is that you work with your mentor. Okay? And then we have a couple of things coming in the spring. There'll be a spring seminar in February, and then our culminating event that we do in April is called the STEM Summit, and that one we are actually adjusting a little bit where we're planning to do a keynote address on Thursday night and then have a conference-style day on Friday, the 10th of April, that I think you guys are going to find really engaging. So make sure you got that in your calendar. Those things that I list right there, those are the requirements for the program. There are a variety of other things that we will put out there for certain students, big groups of students, small groups of students, individuals, that are optional. Those are not the requirements. If you don't do the requirements, we don't get to keep you in the program, okay? But the optional things, you'll hear about some additional optional things. Those are not required of folks as we go along. But please do make sure that these requirements, that you've written these dates in your calendar, that you have set things aside, because they are required and we don't get to keep you here in the program if you're not working with that part of it, okay? So if you have kids and you need to find a babysitter, start working now. You need a babysitter on October 23rd. Make sure you got it, okay? If you don't know how you're going to get your ride, start talking to everybody around you. I'm going to need a ride on October the 23rd, okay? So don't call me up at 5 o'clock on October 23rd going, I can't get a babysitter. No, you're required. Work now, okay? So you signed off on this stuff, and we really do hold you to this. Okay? So we're going to try real hard to give you reminders. We'll send out things called Save the Dates, which you guys got here. We will send out times to register. We are also trying, and we tried yesterday for the first time, sending you a text message the day before. How many of you got a text message yesterday? Oh, it worked really well. Okay. So that's a sort of, did you remember? Is it in your calendar kind of thing? So we're going to try to send you some of those reminders, since I know that text messaging is the way you all talk to each other. I'm too old to really text message that much, but I'm trying, okay? Learning how to do these things. So please do make sure you take that part seriously, that these are requirements for the program. It's not that much time. but you're going to get an awful lot out of the time that you put in. Okay? All right, other big part of the program is working with your faculty mentor. Now, you guys are all assigned to tables tonight where you are getting a chance to talk with your faculty mentors, and we'll get to that further in just a minute. This is a big list, and you don't need to memorize it all, but just to show you that we have a total of 19 faculty mentors. They are also spread across all 7 of the Dallas County Community Colleges. Probably the most important thing that you students can get from this is building that strong relationship with your faculty mentor. They are the ones that are going to be able to make a huge difference as you are trying to pursue the dreams and the direction that you have related to your education and your career. So take the time to really get to know them and to take advantage of what they can share with you, because they are the center of what the STEM Institute is about. Okay, so October the 23rd is our fall seminar. That one's going to be at Brookhaven College in the H building, H125. Again, it'll be at 6:30 in the evening. We love 6:30, so if in doubt, it's at 6:30. Okay? So, Brookhaven, and the focus there is going to be on transfer preparation. So I think it's going to be a very, very useful time for you. Just got another response back from another university that is coming, and they're sending some people specifically to talk to you about STEM transfer. So we have asked them to try to send people who can answer your detailed questions about transfer. So that's going to be a really, really useful thing for you on October 23rd. That one is required. Okay? There are a couple of other things that are coming up, though, that are not required. These are some of the optional events. Coming very soon, September the 16th, a Tuesday, we are going to have some speakers that I'm very excited about coming to give a presentation again at 6:30. Told you we're kind of boring that way. This one's going to be at Cedar Valley College in the M building. They have a beautiful building down there. If you have not been to the M building in Cedar Valley, you need to check it out. And this is going to be some folks that are going to talk to you about entrepreneurship as it relates to STEM fields. Okay? There are lots of opportunities in that direction. And so one of the people from the Office of Economic Development at City Hall in Dallas specifically wanted to talk to you all about entrepreneurship and STEM, and is bringing some folks who have recently started some of their own businesses related to STEM to talk to you. So I strongly encourage you to come. We will have a sign-up sheet that if you would like to come to that, it'll be out at the front desk as you're heading out. Please do sign up and come that evening. If for some reason you don't get yourself signed up, please just send me an email later on and say, I really would like to come to that one, and we will get you onto the list. Okay? So that's an optional event, but I encourage you to come. We also have the first of the trips that we try to take folks out for a few hours or for a day to visit various STEM-related business and industry areas. And the first one we're going to have this fall is a visit actually to DFW Airport. And they're going to give a tour of a variety of different areas that build on disciplines that you all might be interested in. And air transportation uses a lot of different STEM disciplines in a whole bunch of different ways. Everything from mathematics to various issues with materials, science, to engineering like you wouldn't believe, all kinds of things. Now that one is one where I do have to limit the number of students that I can take, because we do take you in college vans so that we're coming as a group for that. So I can only take 16 students that night. So if you want to go, there's going to be a sign-up sheet out here on your way out. Get your name on that sign-up sheet, and we'll see if we can't get you on that trip. That one's going to be on Friday the 26th. Okay? So those are a couple other things coming up. What else do we have in our events here? There's going to be a really good talk, this one at Richland College, and notice it's not at 6:30, that's because my speaker couldn't really do 6:30 that day. This one's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Steve Lyle from Texas Instruments is going to come talk about actually a book that he wrote and some of the things that are in that book. It's called The Power of Being Yourself. That's on a Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock at Richland College. And this is really focused on any of you who in any way put yourself in some kind of a minority status. Okay? I am in some way different. And probably we could go through this room and figure out a way that every one of you is different. And that's what he's trying to do, is to get you to realize everybody has some differences. How can you take advantage of those differences as a STEM professional? How can you figure out what you can do to take advantage of that? Okay? So I think it's going to be an outstanding talk, and I encourage you to come to Richland for that one. Other thing that we have coming up this fall, I showed you real quickly the internship and research experience website that we have. This is something that is extremely important for STEM students to think about. And we want to help you learn how to apply for these things, how to really be successful in finding these things beyond your classes that are going to allow you to be competitive when you want to become a STEM professional. So we're going to have a workshop in November to go through a lot of that process and help you guys individually figure out which things should I be applying for maybe what I'm going to do the next summer, which things do I need to do to be most competitive with that, how should I be designing my essays, my resume to make me competitive in this process, okay? So that workshop is, I think, going to be extremely helpful for you in learning how to take advantage of this. Students who get internships or research experiences tend to be much, much more competitive when it comes to trying to get scholarships when they're then going to the university upon transfer, to try to get their first jobs when they graduate from college. The students that have those experiences have a real leg up. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you take the time to learn how to apply for these things. Okay? So we are going to have a workshop just to help you with that part of it. Okay. There are other the things that we're going to do just to try to make sure that we build a good rapport with you all. I wrote here, informal chats at the colleges. I would really like to be able to have a chance to get to know you all, and it's sort of hard when I have 107 of you in the room at once. And so one of the things that I'm going to do is to get out of my cubicle and come visit you at your colleges. And so my plan is that Wednesday afternoons is going to be my time out to different colleges. And I hope that you will just drop by and chat with me informally and chat with some of your peers that are also at that college informally. Some of your mentors I hope will drop by as well during those times. But what I will do is about a week or 10 days before I'm going to be coming out and spending a little time at your college, I'm going to send an email out to the people from that college and say, hey, I'm coming your way. Come by and chat with me and let's just have a talk about whatever. So this will be completely informal. We will probably do that outside of whatever place you all have your coffee and your powdered drinks or whatever. So if you have a Subway at your place, we'll probably just gather right outside that Subway. Wherever you drink all those caffeinated beverages that I know you have. Okay, so I'll send you the email where that's going to be and where we're going to be.